Back again for another video. In this video, I want to talk about imprints. Of course, this is a story. In this story, I want to tell you about the many times that I have created imprints or I have overwritten them. Now, this is not only through trial and error of learning this is also by happenstance. This is by me just playing around with things, I guess you can say, to see what elicit the right response that I'm looking for. So, I'm going to tell you guys about a few of the women that have been in my life. So, in my life currently, there are women who still want to have some dealings with me. Now, they have had children, may have not had children. They have, lived all kind of backgrounds. They have been different races. So this is indicative to women itself. It's not just any type of woman, any race of woman. This is just women, period. No matter what the relationships have been, no matter what happened in relationships, no matter what I did, no matter what she did, my imprint still remains. How I know this, I'm going to get into it. But I'm not going to tell you exactly how I did it. That's one secret that I'm going to keep to myself. But I will tell you the stories. So, growing up in Detroit, it's a very interesting play. I'm not going to get too much in the history of Detroit, or I guess you can say my background there. But I will tell you that there's a specific culture there. And the culture is get it while it's good culture. So if you run across a woman and she sees or has some interest in you, then socially you are expected to take her up on that offer. Many times I didn't, of course, because I spent 20 years in Detroit. But I lost my virginity when I was 18. 17, 18, somewhere over there. But anyways, so I only had a few years to experience Detroit from a sexual nature. And through that, I learned a few things. I learned the base nature of a woman's sexuality. At a fairly young sexual age. I don't mean actual age. I had only, like I said once again, experienced 2 years of Detroit in a sexual history standpoint before I left. So I learned a lot, because not only did I have the means to do so as of being a young adult, I also had the access, because these are a lot of base nature women when it comes to the women in Detroit. It's just the way it is. It seems like every hood that you go to, base nature is prevalent. I don't know why is that. Maybe they're poisonous through our water. I think it's lead or something like that they're giving us, and it, degenerates us to a base nature. Whatever it may be. It could just be the culture, but I can't say that, because I ran across other black communities that were outside of the quote-unquote ghetto, and things have not been like that. So I don't know. But anyways, there were a lot of women who were attracted to me, and there were a lot of women that I turned down. They didn't have the qualities that I wanted in a woman, but I partook of the ones that I wanted to take, and a lot of them were not black per se. A lot of them were Hispanic, mixed, white, etc. Because these are the women that would choose on me. Because once again, I learned very, very, very fairly quickly not to chase women. though there have been women that I have chased in my lifetime, this has been a small portion of the women that I've had experiences with, sexual and non-sexual, of course. Nonetheless, these women that I would have these sexual interactions with, they would be, I guess you can say, taken aback by the ability that I have sexually. Because I learned fairly quickly that I was a little bit different than most other men. Because, once again, I didn't have the sexual experience, but I learned things very quickly, especially when it comes to base natures. Base natures are very easy to me. They come naturally, because that is part of my nature, of course. And I was at a space in my life where I was adult enough to understand those and conceptualize exactly what they are. So they didn't become background noise. They were always at the forefront because I was cognitively in charge of my own nature and what I wanted to express, that is, rather. But it took me a while to get there. I didn't actually learn how to fully control what my nature was until I made it to Colorado, which was many years later, mind you. I didn't even get to Colorado until, 2011-ish, yeah, somewhere around there. I spent a few years in Arizona, so, but anyways, but I would try different things with different women. I won't tell you the other side of how I got to do that, but I will tell you that I've had experiences with women. Not a lot, not a whole lot, because I was very picky sometimes, most times. But the women that I picked, there was an ongoing sexual relationship with. So it gave me time to cultivate my sexuality in a confined space, because I wasn't all over the place with many women. That's never been my thing. I never wanted to have sex with every woman that would give me an opportunity to. But there were always women that I was sexually attracted to. But anyways, throughout my sexuality, I started to learn, like I said before, that there were things different about me, which I won't get into in this video, but maybe you can pick up on it, maybe you can't. We'll leave that to be a mystery. But I would learn a woman's body very quickly, due to my difference, because I had to, which I won't get into that story either. I hate to leave it so vague, but I don't want to get too explicit on here, I guess you can say. Kind of want to keep it a little PG, just a little bit. But I ended up, like I said, having these sexual experiences with women and them not being very receptive of these experiences. So I had to cultivate how to be more sexually attractive during the act. Not physically, but the action itself. Because there are attributes about me, like I said, which I had to work around. And this is nothing disparaging. It's just that, once again, I'm a little different, come to find out, than many other men. But anyways, through that, I learned a woman's body because due to the fact that women weren't very accepting of me sexually, not gonna say like they were like, nothing like that. But like I said, through my difference, they were not very accepting. And I had to work around that because not many women have experienced my sort of stamina and my sort of physical presence. They haven't experienced that before. And that was just me being in my base sexuality. So imagine how I am now that I've learned things. Totally different story. But anyways, through that, I ended up, like I said, cultivating a certain way to communicate with women sexually. And through this, I learned how to create imprints. I learned how to destroy other men's imprints as well. And it's a very interesting thing to watch. It's a very interesting thing to experience. I'll tell you about this one specific woman. She had children by other men, of course. But we never had a relationship ever. And she was semi-attractive. I wouldn't say that she was the coldest one out, you know, but she was not very receptive of male leadership. She was very much matriarch. And I've experienced this a lot of times with women, but this one was a little different because she had been imprinted by another man. And through what I've learned through the military and what I've learned through actual life, not only was I able to change her imprint, it's there permanently. I don't think any other man could come behind me and change it at all. He would have to be some phenomenal guy in some other way in order to do so. That's the thing about imprints. Once a stamp is put on a woman, that's pretty much it. You can't change it unless you have the power to change it. And it's going to be in a completely different way, meaning that no similar guy to me can change that imprint. This is how this works. But I find it very interesting in how it works. Women become very attached naturally, because you're her imprint. But she has no control over that. She can't get rid of the imprint herself. She can't even access the imprint. She doesn't even know what the imprint is most times, which is once again still strange to me. All she knows is that her energy changes when you come around. That's all she knows. She feels a sense of euphoria, a sense of meekness, a sense of timidity, things like that. And me being what I am, of course, I pounce. Because she's mine. That's the way I view it. No matter what man tries to approach her, no matter what man tries to talk to her, no matter what man she may be interested in. When I come around, she's mine. That's just the way it is. And through that, a lot of people misunderstand what I mean. Because I can say that I have many women, which I do. Not in a physical sense, though. Meaning that I severed the relationship for whatever reason. And we no longer speak. I have many women that are like this, who are mines. But what I mean by mines is that my imprint will remain until there's another man who has a stronger gift than I do about creating and destroying others' imprints and creating my own imprint. So, I always tell women beforehand, make sure that I'm the guy that you want to be around. Make sure I'm the guy that you want to think about. Because after I get a hold of you, you're mine.